Hello everyone and welcome to Johnny K Picks, where I break down and predict my favorite fights for the UFC upcoming event. This week we have UFC Vegas 38, Santos versus Walker. First things first, if you enjoy my content, please go ahead and click that like and subscribe button right about here. Also keep a lookout for my Johnny K Bets video coming out later this week, breaking down the bets that I'm going to make for UFC Vegas 38. But before I get to my picks this week, I'm going to quickly recap my predictions from UFC 266, Volkanovski versus Ortega. Okay, so overall, it looks like I went 5-2. I picked Davalishvili, Andrade by knockout, Blades by decision, Lawler by knockout, and Shevchenko by knockout, all correctly. My only two losses were Medic and Ortega. Honestly, I'm a little disappointed in the Medic-Turner fight. I thought it was going to be a little bit more entertaining than it was. It was pretty quick, and Medic looked like he was a fish out of water from the get-go, and I don't know if he was just scared or he didn't know what to do. Maybe the inexperience got to him a bit. He crumbled, and he did not look like himself. And with the Ortega pick, I'll admit, it was kind of a long shot. I knew he had to fight a perfect fight against Volkanovski, maybe even a little bit lucky. But like I said, he did go toe-for-toe with him on the feet. He eventually did get pounded a lot, actually. Overall, though, his striking does look, it's improving. It's not the greatest, but Volkanovski is a champion for a reason. I tell you what, I did get excited when it almost got that guillotine. It was deep. And even Volkanovski in the press conference afterwards said it was pretty deep, and he didn't even know if he can get out. And he was like gurgling and everything, which was pretty funny. But he was definitely squirming a bit. I thought he was done, but he got out of it. Alright, and the elephant in the room, I'm gonna do a little rant here, so bear with me. Gotta talk about the Lawler and Diaz fight here. Now, does anyone else think that this fight was a little weird or funky or didn't really pass the smell test, if you will? For instance, maybe Lawler wasn't really giving it his best in the first couple rounds, just to make it look like Diaz was holding his own. Honestly, no matter how you look at it, it was just bad overall. It was bad for both the fighters. It was bad for the UFC. I mean, I was excited for this fight. I thought it would be a real fight. And if you watched my Johnny K Bets from last week, I did pick Nick Diaz to win as an underdog. And I quickly regretted that once I saw both of them on the scales. I knew I was going to lose that bet right off the bat. Lawler looked like he came to fight. He was in shape. He was ready to go. And Diaz didn't look in shape. He's a little soft. He had some weird body language the whole week, like with his interviews, the way he was talking. I don't know. I think the pressure must have got to him. Maybe he just didn't want to fight, but maybe people pressured him to. Who knows? But to me, like I said, it looked a little fishy in the first and second rounds. Like Lawler was kind of like, all right, I'm going to touch you here, touch you there. Diaz gets a couple good shots, okay. Third round starts, and he turns up the gas. This is how he should have been in round one. He could have ended this fight in 30 seconds. I don't know if he was told, but I hope not. I don't know. It seemed a little sketchy to me. I'm gonna side on it not being rigged, or if you want to say, it just didn't really. I don't know. I can't explain it, but I don't like it. And when Lawler did drop him, and Lawler tried to get him to come up, and then he went to Herb, and he's like, nah, I'm good. I'm just going to stay down here. That to me was like, yeah, this fight, it was not good. The one bit. It was a good fight night overall. Alright, so let's get to my picks for UFC Vegas 38, Santos versus Walker. Okay, so the first fight I'm going to break down here is Joe Solecki versus Jared Gordon. Joe Solecki is 11-2, 28 years old, 5'9", with a 70.5-inch reach. And Jared Gordon is 17-4, 33 years old, 5'9", with a 68-inch reach. So this fight, actually, this is one of the fights that I'm pretty excited to see. Solecki is averaging 2.68 strikes landed per minute with a 66% accuracy versus Gordon's 5.54 strikes landed per minute with a 56% accuracy. So on paper, it looks like Gordon's the more active fighter. He looks like he throws a little bit more punches, but I wouldn't look too much into that because Solecki is actually a really good striker and he has really good boxing for what he gets credited for. But Solecki's game really is a submission game. He averages 2.39 takedowns per 15 with a 50% accuracy, and actually Gordon's takedown defense is only 55%. To me, it looks like Solecki can take him down whenever he wants. Solecki, like I said, he does have power and he's a really good boxer. I really think there's a chance if this stays on the mat that he could KO Gordon. I think what's going to happen is he's going to get a couple strikes in here, maybe stun him a bit, take him down to the ground and work on top of him, and probably get the sub here. So with my pick here, I'm going to go with Solecki to win by submission. Okay, next fight I'm going to break down here is Aspen Ladd versus Macy Chiasson. Ladd is 9-1, 26 years old, 5'6", with a 66-inch reach. And Macy is 7-1, 30 years old, 5'11", with a 72-inch reach. So this fight was originally supposed to take place earlier this year. I think it was maybe in July. And I'm kind of glad that they kept it and they didn't try to scrap it or switch opponents, because it's going to be a really good fight. So right away you see the big height and reach advantage for Macy, but we'll get to that in a second here. Ladd comes in averaging 5.22 strikes per minute with a 55% accuracy versus Macy's 4.16 strikes landed per minute with a 49% accuracy. But what's a little troubling for me is Ladd's striking defense. She absorbs 4.84 strikes per minute versus Macy's 2.17 strikes absorbed per minute. So Macy's defense is way better on paper here, and that's probably because she's a taller fighter and she does have the reach advantage on most of the opponents that she fights. So for Ladd here, I think her best path to victory here is to get Macy on the mat. Ladd does average 2.45 takedowns per 15 minutes with a 75% accuracy. So I definitely think she could take down Macy whenever she wants, because Macy's takedown defense is only 64%. But what I will say, Macy is definitely tough on her feet. But if Ladd can get her on the ground, I think she's going to have a lot of success. So for me, this one's a really tough fight. It can go either way. But for my pick, I'm going to go with the underdog here, and I'm going to pick Macy. I think she can stand on her feet long enough. She might get taken down once, maybe twice, but I think she's going to outstrike Ladd when it's on the feet. And if she can stop the first initial takedowns in the beginning of the first round, I think she's going to come away with a decision here. With my pick here, I'm going to go with Macy to win by decision. Okay, so next fight we have here is Misha Cirkunov versus Jotko. Misha is 15-6, 34 years old, 6'3", with a 77-inch reach. And Jotko is 22-5, 32 years old, 6'1", with a 77-inch reach. So before I get into my stats here, I want to point out that this is Misha's middleweight debut. He usually fights in the light heavyweight division, but Misha averages 4.18 strikes per minute with a 51% accuracy versus Jotko's 2.94 strikes landed per minute with a 41% accuracy. So Misha is definitely the busier fighter on the feet, but what I'm thinking is Misha is definitely strong, and I don't know if Jotko's ever fought anybody as strong, because like I said, he's moving down in the division, so he's definitely going to look a little bigger. He's used to the light heavyweight division, so I don't know if Jotko is going to be able to defend every takedown of Misha's. But what I will say is I do think Misha is a better striker and also better on the mat than Jotko, but what really worries me here is Misha's chin. In his last 3 losses, he's been KO'd, but the good thing is Jotko is not a knockout guy. A lot of his wins in the UFC have been by decision, but that never means that he can't catch Misha with a kick or something fluky and Misha will drop, because like I said, he does seem a little chinny. But with my pick, even with Misha's chin concerns, I'm going to pick him to win here. I just think he's a better fighter on the feet. I think he's a better fighter on the mat. Like I said, he has more paths to victory for me. He can knock him out. He can submit him. He can win by decision. So with that being said, I'm going to go with Misha to win here by decision. Okay, so for the next fight I'm going to break down here is Alex Oliveira versus Niko Price. Niko is 14-5, 32 years old, 6 foot with a 76-inch reach. And Oliveira is 22-10-1, 33 years old, 5'11", with a 76.5-inch reach. So here's the fight that screams violence. So Oliveira has a 2.86 strikes landed per minute with a 50% accuracy versus Niko's 5.29 strikes landed per minute with a 41% accuracy. So right away again, you see Niko definitely has the higher volume. He's a little crazier, and also Niko pushes a crazy pace. So I think if Niko can keep on Oliveira, stay in his face, and just keep peppering him with shots, he's going to eventually hit him in the right spot, maybe with an elbow or a kick, and then I think he's going to crumble, and eventually Niko's going to get the finish here. But the question is he going to get the knockout or if he's going to get the submission? So for me, I'm going to go with the knockout. I think he's going to hit him. He's going to fall down on the ground, and Niko's not going to care. He's just going to go for it. He's just going to strike, just keep pounding him, and then the ref is eventually going to call it. So I just don't think Oliveira's chin can hold up again. 2 in a row, same thing. He's looking like he's a little bit chinny. So with my pick here, I'm going to go Price by knockout. Alright, so co-main event time. We have Kevin Holland versus Kyle Daukaus. Holland is 21-7, 28 years old, 6'3" with an 81-inch reach. And Kyle Daukaus is 10-2, 28 years old, 6'3" with a 76-inch reach. So finally we have the return of the great Kevin Holland. Obviously the biggest question is, did he work on his takedown defense? Because if he didn't, he's going to be in a world of trouble, just the same as he was with Brunson and just the same as he was when he fought Vettori. So on the feet, Holland to me has the clear advantage and the power advantage, but the advantage that Daukaus has is on the mat with his submission game. Daukaus probably really wants to get this fight to the mat because I don't think he wants to strike with Holland. But as I said, do we think that Holland actually took the time to work on his takedown defense and wrestling? I'm going to go ahead and say that he did. He's just that kind of guy. He looked a little angry after the first. He looked a little angry at when he did lose against Brunson, and he wanted to show everyone that he could get up or stay up against Vettori, and it looked a little better. It wasn't great by any means, but I think he's gonna work on it here. Hopefully he went to the right gym to work on the takedown defense and wrestling. So like I said, this is kind of just a little gut feeling here. I think Kevin Holland definitely is the better fighter, but if this gets the mat, I don't know. It's the biggest question mark for me. But I'm gonna go ahead and pick Holland to win here. I'm going to pick by decision though. I do think Holland is going to get taken down at least once, maybe twice, but I think he's going to do enough damage to where he's going to end up staying on his feet a little bit longer than people think, and he's going to get the decision here. So with my pick here, I'm going to pick Holland by decision. Okay, so we got main event time here. So real quick here, do me a favor, if you haven't hit that like and subscribe button yet, it's right here. Go ahead and click it, please. Okay, so for the main event, we have Thiago Santos versus Johnny Walker. Santos comes in at 21-9. 37 years old, 6'2" with a 76-inch reach. And Johnny Walker comes in at 18-5, 29 years old, 6'6" with an 82-inch reach. So again, right away, you can see that Walker has the big height and reach advantage, but Santos is a veteran, and I'm sure he's been the smaller fighter before. So I'm not going to look too much into that. He does close distance really quick, so I think he can jump in there real quick and get inside. So I'm not going to focus too much on that right now. Santos does average 4.2 strikes landed per minute with a 48% accuracy versus Walker's 4.41 strikes landed per minute and a 72% accuracy, which is crazy good actually. But what I'm really looking at is the striking defense stats here. Santos absorbs 2.33 strikes per minute with a 55% striking defense versus Walker's 3.51 strikes absorbed with a 31% striking defense. So he's very hittable, and he does not move his head one bit. He'll take a hit to give a hit. That's basically what he's doing. If you remember Walker's last fight against Ryan Spann, he got rocked. And I thought Spann was going to get him, but he recovered very quickly, and then he just rocked Spann, and Spann did not recover, and he got the knockout. But it was a crazy, 30 seconds in that fight. So he does have the recover capability, though. So with all that being said, I'm going to go with the experience here in Santos. I can't not. He's definitely the more technical fighter. He has lethal leg kicks. He doesn't go in all crazy like Walker does. And if Santos really wants to, he can get this to the mat, and he has really good BJJ. If he gets a little too crazy and he does a well-timed takedown, he can get a takedown anytime he wants. Not to mention, the only path to victory that I see for Walker is a KO. And Santos is a pretty tough dude. He's not going to get knocked out. If you remember the John Jones fight, I mean, his legs were destroyed, and he didn't get knocked out. And some people think that he should have beat John Jones that fight. I mean, he's tough. So with my pick here, I'm going to go Santos to win by knockout. Okay, so those are my picks for UFC Vegas 38. Thank you everyone for watching, and please don't forget to comment down below right here. Just tell me your picks, tell me why they're going to win. I like to see everyone's predictions and the reasoning how they're going to win. And also be on the lookout for my other video coming out this week, Johnny K Bets. Good luck to everybody, and happy fight night.